She said, if you give me $500 right now, you can have. I said, have what? She said, have her. And she put her down in the leaves.
What? No, I would never sell my child.
And she said, no, I don't need help. I just don't want the bastard.
My child is my life. I never, ever hurt my baby.
And I'm like, is she crazy?
So you're about to witness why some people don't deserve to have kids. Do you know how there's tests if you should be accepted in a university, or interviews if you should be accepted in a job? We need these kinds of freaking tests, psychological, mental, IQ-wise, everything. Mental health and physical health-wise, everything. In order to check if people should actually have children. It sounds crazy, but it'll prevent shit like this. Let's watch the video.
In March 2024, a woman walks into a police station with an 18-month-old girl and a shocking claim. The child's mother tried to sell her own baby, and when that didn't work, abandoned her entirely. But what sounds like an open and shut case takes a twisted turn when the mother accuses the woman of orchestrating a plot to steal her baby. The following report is based on official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. On the afternoon of March 5th, 2024, a woman comes into the Palatka, Florida Police Department with an 18-month-old baby on her shoulder and an extraordinary story.
Gonna bring her some clothes, diapers over, but we didn't. I was gonna wipe her off, but we didn't want to wipe her off in case she had to take pictures of her because she's okay. Don't cry, sweetie. Because she don't deserve it.
I'll come sit with you.
Oh, I'll come sit with you. All right. I called DCF to John, and he is on. He's gonna be calling me back.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know that this is way outside of what
I'm a mom first.
I understand.
The woman is an employee at H&R Block, and she says she was getting ready to close last night when a client named Jessica came in with her baby daughter.
Both of them had no shoes on. Her and Jessica walked in, and she asked me could I give her a new Emerald card because her taxes had dropped, and she left it somewhere or something happened with it. So I got ready to put her stuff in, and I noticed the baby had took her diaper off. And she was like pointing at her private, like her, it was irritating her something. So I was like, oh, maybe it's the diaper, you know, kids get irritated or whatever. And she was like, she's not going to do that because I only have one diaper for her. So she put the diaper back on her. And it went, you know how the sticky side of the diaper, it wouldn't stick no more. So she like hit her. And was like, you're stupid. You shouldn't be there. And I was like, what? So I called the police.
She says she waited until police arrived and then went home for the night, unaware that her involvement with this woman was far from over.
This morning I came 7 a.m. The mom, Jessica, was laying on the AC unit. And she was in a Dollar General's buggy. And it was drizzling. She was asleep and the baby was in there hollering. I said, do you need help? Like, do you need to call DCF so they can help you? And she said, no, don't worry about it. And she snatched her daughter out the top part and slammed her in the bottom part.
The woman says that Jessica...
She snatched her daughter and slammed her on the bottom part. Imagine how many of these stories aren't covered or still under investigation. Here's a little life story. I'm from the Balkans, from Southeastern Europe. And for the first 19 years, I used to live in a small town in North Macedonia. I still live in North Macedonia. But I used to live in a small town where one of my neighbors would beat the shit out of their kids. And then listen, don't get me wrong. I used to get a beating all the freaking time. But guess what? 100% of the time, I deserved it. And it wasn't that kind of a beating. And eventually that kid, on 16 years old, he disappeared. He disappeared. And you know when we found out where he was? 4 years later, and he was in the capital. I don't know how, but this is how dumb the police are here. Who knows how many of these cases are all over the world. Even crazier.
Left at that point. Not long after, someone at a nearby restaurant calls the police to complain about a woman and her baby walking around asking for food. The responding officer finds Jessica inside, annoyed that someone reported her.
Because they were worried about the baby.
Because she's throwing a tantrum.
No, well, more they wanted to make sure the baby was okay and that you were okay.
I'm fine. I'm trying to find emergency housing.
So what's the situation? What are you going through right now?
I'm going through a lot.
Like as far as housing, why are you looking for emergency housing?
Because I had a boyfriend who used to beat the out of me and I don't want it around my kid.
Okay.
If you can please help me in any way.
Well, okay, so I've got our victim's advocate coming out. She's gonna talk to you. She's gonna bring some stuff for the baby.
Where?
She'll be coming over here.
You know, just because the baby cries doesn't mean that they're in trouble. No. I'm sure you have kids.
Just because the baby cries, that doesn't mean the baby's in trouble. Amazing mom. Every time I cried as a little kid, you know what my mom should have done? Just left me on the porch in a random stranger's house. That's it. My parents weren't that good of a parent as she is. Jessica, you should have 4 more kids. Jokes aside, at the end of the video, you'll be pretty disappointed to find out. I mean, I was hoping for her to get at least, I don't know, 10 years in prison, maybe more. She won't get a lot of years in prison, and the baby is gonna be left without a mother. And you also found out that this woman has crazy family history and a crazy sister. We need tests in order to check who needs to be, who can be, and who can't be a freaking parent, okay? So let's move on.
I do. I have a son and a stepdaughter.
I can't even believe this. Is that rescue for my child?
No. They're going to a different call.
The victim's advocate arrives with her assistants, but Jessica is wary of their motives.
No, y'all making me feel threatened.
Oh, no.
This is the victim's advocate that told you I had come.
No, y'all really making me feel threatened. I got 4 of y'all.
I have a bunch of stuff for you and the baby.
Jessica settles enough to accept the help these women have brought for her, but she doesn't let her guard down entirely.
It's just right now, I'm needing a place to stay. She thinks y'all are probably trying to take her away from her. No, I'm not taking her away from mommy.
But Jessica does wind up separated from her daughter, and according to the woman at the police station, it happened later that day.
She came back to our job. At this point, she's yelling at the customers in there to give her money. I said, ma'am, you gotta leave. Like, you have to leave now. She said, oh, I'm not leaving. And then took her in the bathroom. When she left out there, I called the police. And she literally pushed the buggy in the road and laughed about it. And then hurry up and grabbed it. And I'm like, is she crazy?
She says that although she gave the officer details about Jessica's behavior, she was told that it would come down to her word against the mother's, but it wouldn't be long before Jessica would return yet again. And this time, she would come with a shocking offer.
She came back. I see her walking back towards our job. And she's saying, come here, because I trust you, come here. So I'm like, oh my God. I asked 2 of my coworkers to walk out with me because I don't know what's in somebody's mind. And as I walked over there, she said, if you give me $500 right now, you can have it. I said, have what? She said, have her. And she put her down in the leaves. And I said, are you serious? At this time, the baby got up and she was getting ready to walk in the road. And I grabbed the baby and I picked her up and I said, I'm not giving you no money. She said, well, just have her because it's just too much for me.
The woman's account nearly defies belief, but when the police speak to Jessica a couple of days later, they hear a story that could turn the entire case upside down.
Imagine seeing a random woman or a man. Imagine seeing a man leaving a random baby on your porch, in your shop, wherever, and saying $500 for the baby. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm just laughing because it sounds so crazy and morbid, and I don't know how to react. Most people I know from the Balkans, if they see a man doing this, that man is gonna get busted. That man is gonna get the punches and kicks of his life. But because she's a woman, Jessica in this case, everybody is nice to her. Even though she basically abandoned her child to a random stranger she doesn't know. Luckily, this random stranger, the black woman we were seeing all this time, luckily she was an actual good person, but at least leave the kid in a, I don't know, child's orphanage, whatever you call them, orphanages and child protection care, whatever institutions every country has. Don't leave them like this. I don't know, maybe leave them at their grandparents or something. Anywhere, but not in a random stranger's place. What the hell is wrong with this woman?
I went to file my taxes at H&R Block. While I was there, one of the members of my church filed my taxes for me. She asked me if she could keep my daughter overnight. She said she wanted to buy her some clothes. She know I just got out of abusive marriage, and I'm trying to get back on my feet.
And this was Monday or Tuesday?
No, she's only been gone for 2 days. Only 2 days.
Okay. Well, today is Thursday, so that would make it, what, Tuesday night? Tuesday night. You tell me like approximately what time? 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
7 p.m.?
Yeah, 7 p.m.
Okay.
Jessica says that although she was reluctant at first, she ultimately agreed to hand her daughter over for the night.
I allowed her to take Gigi, and about an hour after that, I got a knock at the door from the police saying that I was there from H&R Block. So I sent a text message, and I said, if you're not producing my child, I'm going to call the police.
What's this worker that you go to church with? What's her name?
Her name's Crystal. She's a black girl with pink hair.
Jessica paints herself as a caring mother who was tricked into giving up her baby, which is a far cry from the story police heard at the station.
I said, do you need help? Again, I'm asking you, do you need help? And she said, no, I don't need help. I just don't want the bastard. And I said, okay. And I got the baby. I was crying. I walked across the streets, and I tried to wake her up. And I put her in my car.
She said, I don't want the bastard. No. What? How are people expecting for me to react to this? I don't want the bastard for your kid? You know what? I feel sorry for this kid, man. I feel sorry for this kid. I feel bad for every single kid in similar or the same situation. Like this woman, Jessica, she was probably in a similar, maybe worse, maybe a little bit less worse of a situation. And this is why kids grown up by these kinds of parents, they end up, not all of them, but a lot of them end up being the same or worse. And it's basically, I was gonna say genetic. Maybe it is kind of genetic, but it's a lot of obviously how the kid has been treated while he was a kid in the household by the parents, or if the kid actually had parents. Because looking at this, I don't know where the father is. I'm guessing he disappeared. She had an abusive relationship with this guy. They broke up. I remember if she said it was her husband. It doesn't freaking matter. It sounds so bad. But some people just like to have kids, just to have the title of being a parent, of saying, oh, look, I have a kid. I'm walking him down the mall, blah, blah, blah. Just for the looks and the position you hold of being a parent. They like all the titles and celebrations, I guess, that comes with being a parent, but they don't actually want to be an actual freaking parent. It's like young folks right now. They want to be rich without doing any labor, without doing any work, starting any business, nothing. They just want easy freaking money. Or in the dating market, everyone thinks they deserve the best of the best, while they aren't doing anything else. Same for these people. They just want to have kids for the title, none of the consequences, none of the work and job and long hours of sleepless nights and crying and, oh, I'm so tired of this, but I love it because it's my kid. They want none of that. They want none of that. These are basically child adults, and they are making just crazy fast decisions without thinking twice about them. Like, are you actually mentally stable? Are your finances in place? Is your partner, husband or wife, whatever, actually crazy? Or are they actually mentally stable for this stuff?
And I told her she's going to be okay. This should not go on with the child.
You don't remember having a conversation about trying to sell Giovanni?
What?
I'm just.
No.
No.
No, I would never sell my child. No. I can't even believe that was even stated. My child is my life.
Not only is Jessica's story completely different, she tells the detectives that she knows exactly what's going on here.
To be honest with you, my sister, me and her have a very bad relationship. She has wanted my child. She sold lies to my entire family. I believe she sent Crystal to do that on purpose because she laughed yesterday in my face and told me I was going to be in jail. So they said this up. Sounds petty, but it's true.
I mean, what would be the reasoning they would do that?
Same reason she husband. She's spiteful.
At the police station, the woman does express an interest in keeping the child, though it doesn't seem to come from a place of malice.
So would DCF let me take her home?
Probably not, but
I just don't want her to have to go through no system.
absolutely not. There might be a way. You might have to come out and look at your house, or you might. So we'll figure something out.
But as far as Jessica's concerned, there's no reason why her daughter can't be with her.
You know I don't deserve to be in jail for this. I never, ever.
There's no reason why your daughter can't be with you? You literally left the child with a stranger, and there's no reason for the daughter to not be with you. Get the f out of here, crazy ass people. Get this woman in jail. Freaking, what? There's no reason for the child to not be with her. Man, adult children, like I said.
Hurt my baby.
If you see her here, she hit her. It's right here.
Yeah.
You can see it. She elbowed her last night.
So that was from my time?
So you can see it good now. It's swollen all right here. The bruise. She got dirt all in her nose.
I'm an RN. I can't lose my child or my license.
Jessica was a licensed practical nurse, but her license was put on probationary status a year prior when she failed to notify the Board of Nursing that she pled no contest to a disorderly conduct charge. But the detectives are only concerned about Jessica's current story, which seems to have a couple of significant problems.
I allowed her to take Gigi, and about an hour after that, I got a knock at the door from the police saying that I was there from H&R Block.
Jessica's stated timeline would put this at approximately 8 p.m. However, the detectives know that she was banned from H&R Block at 11:30 in the morning.
She asked me if she could keep my daughter overnight.
That would make it, what, Tuesday night?
Tuesday, yeah.
Jessica says that Crystal took custody of the baby on Tuesday night, which would have been impossible given that the baby was sitting in the police department on Tuesday afternoon.
And what's the worker that you go to church with? What's her name?
Her name's Crystal.
But there's no one at H&R Block by the name of Crystal. The woman who brought her baby to the police station is named Anita, and she says that she only knows Jessica as a client.
Are y'all gonna let me go?
No, man. No, there is a warrant for your arrest.
I'm saying, but like,
I mean, you are under arrest.
In February 2025, Jessica Woods pled no contest to her charges and was convicted of 6 crimes against her child, including unlawful desertion and illegally placing a child for adoption. She was sentenced to 4 years in prison and 10 years of probation. According to the Palatka Police Department, her daughter has been placed in foster care.
So this woman had 6 charges: illegally placing a child for adoption, unlawful desertion of a child, aggravated child abuse, neglect of a child. And even the black woman, I forgot her name, bless her soul, even she said the child has a hole, a womb, a whatever you call it, on her nose or forehead because of the mom hitting her. After all of this, the mom was just sentenced to 4 years in prison and 10 years of probation. Who's stopping that mom after getting out of prison for 4 years, and in those 10 years of probation, I mean, maybe there's going to be a law that even on those 10 years of probation, she won't be able to, see the child. Hopefully. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not for kids being separated from their parents, but I am for kids being separated from their parents for their own freaking good. But also, who's stopping this woman after getting out of prison for 4 years, and in those 10 years of probation, getting another crazy gangster, having another kid or multiple kids with that person, and neglecting and destroying those kids' lives as well. I would have put her in jail for like at least, I don't know, in prison, jail, whatever, for at least, I don't know, like 10 years minimum, and then a few more years of probation. I know this isn't how the law works, but considering what might have happened if the woman was never caught neglecting the child and never left the child at this other woman's place or any other person's place, that would have meant that that child wouldn't have had a nice, fun life. It's scary to think about how many people are there reliving this situation right now around all of us, around you, around me, in the cities and towns we all live in. I'm left without words. I don't know what to say after this. People, please, the same way you're thinking about twice about getting into some kind of a profession, college, whatever, please think 50 times before you have a kid. Here's the system. Here's the system. This might be a crazy system and no one would agree with me, probably, but it will prevent these kinds of parents. Every year, every person who's above the age of 18, every person once a year should go to a, I don't know, police station, hospital, whatever, and get their mental and physical health checked. Mainly their mental health. Are they actually mentally stable? Do they have some illegal stuff that they've done? All of this can be checked every single year. And if multiple things or one thing passes in the exam or whatever we can call it, well, then maybe the country can say, you know what, you're not allowed to have children. I know a lot of people don't agree with me right now, but a lot of people shouldn't be parents. That's about it. Have a nice day.